Hello everybody, it's Raven, and I'm here with GeekNinja and his ship, so tell me all about it, mate.
Alright, this ship is unofficially named the White Amaranth. It's been one of my work in progress concept battleships.
Yeah, I think I remember when you laid down the initial wireframe for this a long time ago.
Yep. We originally started with a concept bridge design that I had built on another community build.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep, and I decided to try my hand out again at the same bridge style.
It's like you've got broadside missiles.
Those are all AMCs actually.
Oh, okay. You know what the best part about that is now?
What's that?
In the new dev build, they fire sideways even from the core now. As long as everything's turned sideways.
They do that now. But you have to be in the core. Let me see if I can do this right, so that it's in there. But if I'm in a camera, though, it doesn't like that. Yeah, let me make sure no one's right. This will be for my right side. There you go.
Oh, nice. Okay, so that... I think it works from cameras now, so... Hopefully, because that'd be really nice, you know? Alright, awesome. I think I might... Am I missing part of your ship? I might be missing the very, very front end. If you look at the No, I don't think I am. Huh. Right here. This is not a chunk error, is it?
No, it's gray right there. Can I dip in?
It cuts in. It looks like a chunk error. But
yeah, no, that's actually how it's supposed to be.
It's really cool. I like it. It's different. Different is good. Different is special. I didn't want it smooth. Different is unique, which is another. You're unique, just like everyone else. Just remember that. Alright. I'm gonna cruise around in build mode here. Let's check this out. So, looks like you're still obviously working on internals and really doing a lot of here.
I really want to get some of that, the shell done, yeah.
Yeah. Looks like it's really the bottom that it's always the bottom that goes last.
The bottom and the back for me, because you always like if you could draw out the ship, right? Like as the 2D pictures, and you see, and you're just gawking at the top, what it looks like from the top, the sides, and the front, and then you're like, okay, now what do I do at the bottom? I could probably put a turret on there. That's about it.
Yeah, the bottom's usually... The way that I like to get around that is I put hangar doors on the bottom. So that, you know, it's like the Imperial hangars, right? The Imperial Star Destroyer hangars. Like, that's how I get around it so that it stays kind of interesting a lot of times. It doesn't always work with... It doesn't work with every ship, and it doesn't always work, but... You know, that's sort of like, if I need something to go on the bottom of a ship, I'll do that, and I'll do a series of turrets, usually. Because, yeah, the bottoms of ships, because they're harder to do, you know, I'll do,
if your concept is from boats or battleships, kind of like this one is, you know, those are just rounded out segments to help it float, and then you're like, oh, now this is in space. And you can be attacked from many directions, so you gotta kind of figure out what would the bottom of a space battleship look like.
Yeah, and the way that I tend to do it, the way that I tend to do it is, you know, I say, well, if it's a ship of sufficient size, right? If it's big enough, it's gonna need some kind of shuttle hangar, right? Even if it's just to take on cargo or something like that, it needs something. And so what I tend to do is I'll usually do like a side set of hangars, and that's for. I go one direction or the other. The side hangars are either for the shuttles, or drones, or cargo, or something like that. I usually have like one bigger hangar area for maybe like a set of fighters, small escort fighters or scout ships. And
I started to do that on the front. Yeah, I did that towards the front, but then I realized it's tiny as heck. But I still like what it looks like. So, like from the inside, it looks like it's pretty big, but from the outside, you hardly notice it. Kind of a right underneath the turret section.
Okay, let's check this out.
You kind of see a little dipped down. portion, but it's really small.
Okay. Oh, I think I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I kind of figured like a small fighter, like it wouldn't be a carrier, but it would have a section for some fighters.
Yeah. The best thing I can ever say is put a docking area in there first, and then figure it out. Make sure that the docking area fits. And the ships can be smaller, obviously, than the docking area, but you need to make sure that the docking area will actually accommodate whatever it is that you're trying to put in there.
Yeah. Maybe I'll put like a dropship docking area, deck on the bottom towards the back.
Well, what I like to think of is, if the side ones here, right, are for fighters or small drones or something, right?
The ones below the bridge.
Yeah, the little side ones. I think they're below the bridge. I think it's below the bridge. The ones right underneath the turret area. Those ones. If that's for shuttles or for, small drone fighters or even fighters, right? Depending on what your classification is.
You mean the divots, I guess, but right on the sides of the turrets.
The little areas. All right, so you have the front on the top. You have the front turret, and then the second triple barrel turret. Right underneath the back of that, on the sides.
Those are actually the entry points to enter the ship.
Okay, because that almost
it's kind of a big door. Yeah, it's kind of a big door for kind of like how you would see like for a mass group to come in and out. The main entrance to the ship.
Yeah, because what I would say is you might want a a proper shuttle area, right? So let's say you take over a ship, or you blast it into submission, as this ship looks like it is wont to do, or at least looks like it will be wont to do once you get there. You could easily, send over a delegate party or a group of commandos. You could build a small. You've already done the frickin' what was it? The ATTE. It doesn't have to be a dropship, but you could do something similar to that in the sense, or it doesn't have to be like a ground forces thing, but a small little dropship sort of thing, or
like a transport shuttle, like
a Raptor from Battlestar. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
I think I got something like that already. Just below the bridge, right where your core is. If you go straight down, behind the cannons, there's a small shuttle bay. That was one of the first things I built.
Okay.
That's got 2 shuttles in there.
You could do something like that, or maybe what you do is, because you've got those there already, underneath could be a proper cargo bay. And you could dock up cargo containers that have all your rations and has equipment and stuff like that for fixing the ship. And you could just make it look like that, or a standardized cargo container. You can put them on the sides and then have maybe like 2 what I would call scout ships, because the ones you've got up in the shuttle bays, right? Yeah. Those look like they would be used for. They don't look like they'd necessarily be used for scouting. They look like they'd be used for dropping on a planet or something along those lines.
That's exactly what they're made for.
Right. So if you had a couple of very, very quick-looking scout-type ships instead, something that looked, maybe I was almost thinking. You remember the Dalmont Saber class? Speaking of Saber class. Yeah, Saber's joining us for this one. But you remember their horizontal like flying wings that look like the B2s? You could make little scouts or something like that fit, easily in there, so that they're not super tall or anything like that. They don't take up a lot of space. You just have 2 of them, and they scout ahead for the ship and find where it needs to be and what it needs to do, and kind of get intel for you. And that dresses up the bottom really, really well. So yeah, I mean that's just my cop out. That's how I get around the problem of I don't know what to do with the bottom of my ship, so I'm just gonna stick a hanger on it. That's usually my cop out for everything. Yeah, this is a lot of detail for if you don't mind me saying, a kind of rough work in progress is you don't have a lot of
it's very
stuff done. But it has a lot of detail. That's what I like to see.
Now, there's one thing I haven't told anybody what they're for yet, because I don't. But just below, in front of what you thought was the hangar or shuttle bay, are those divots where right below the turrets. Those are actually turret ports, and the idea is that there's the broadside turrets that are enclosed, so they can stick out and shoot, but are still within the ship's protection.
Yeah. So they're not going to get hammered, so you don't even have to put much in the way of shields on there, if any.
Yeah.
I'd put a shield block there, but that's about it.
Yeah. That'll give them a few.
Yeah. Just in case.
Standard spray from even another player would only just hit the ship, and only stray shots would hit the turrets.
Exactly. And then they could rip them apart from there. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, and I like these ships where I can make them where it's not meant to always keep pointed at the enemy. You know, you don't want to have your front trying to keep your front pointed at them.
And that was the whole point of the Argus. The whole point of the Argus was when there is something directly in front of me, I can get almost all the turrets firing on it, as well as the main cannon. But if it's not aimed at me, the Argus can hit it anyway. Turrets everywhere. And then I just tried to make it pretty. That was literally the entire way that I did it. I was like, all right.
Main cannon.
Yeah, now that everything else is sort of, all the turrets are on here, how do I make the rest of it look pretty? And make the turrets look like they're supposed to be there. And they still don't, 100%. But I like how you're incorporating almost what I'd call interior turrets, in a way. That's
yeah,
really
I want to use those more, because I always saw like these ship designs where the turret is like embedded into the hull. You know, it's just you only see like the front of it and the gun sticking out, and it kind of gives it a very shell look, where it kind of like very armored look, and I like that because all these turrets just stick out and they're like all wonky because they're like on a pivot point, just flipping about crazy, and like it doesn't look nice at all.
Yeah, and I will say the very front, the split hull with 4 giant fuck off gun barrels.
Yeah.
That's a nice. That's a very nice touch. I
was trying to figure that out because I built the array before I knew what I wanted the gun to look like. Usually, I built a gun and then try to fit the AMCs into it, and it kind of like turns out weird.
Yeah, I know what you mean. See, the Argus, I didn't even bother. I just said, no, I'm not even going to pretend like there's a gun there. It's just going to come out the front end, and I'm going to call it a day.
I don't like that. I mean,
I don't either anymore, but at that point, I'd sunk, a good 70, 80 hours into the Argus, and I'd been working on it for like 4 days straight. And I was like, screw it. I am done. This is how it's going to be. And I'm probably going to go in and I'm going to redo a little bit of it, but now I like the shape of the nose, and it's too good. So I'm gonna have to, when the new weapons come out, I'll have to tweak it and probably turn the hanger into a proper gun, so it looks like that's where all the bullets are coming from. We'll see. That's kind of
everybody. Speaking of the update, everybody was telling me, you better clear out the AMC so you have it ready for the...
Yeah, that's easy to do with the design that you have. It's exactly the same as the Argus.
I kept it modular, therefore I can just build block it out, and I won't even have to touch anything else.
Yeah, that's how I did it with the Argus. It's easy.
It's not packed in there. It's just
the only thing that's a pain in the butt to try to pull out is the missiles for the Argus, but I don't need to.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that at all. Because they run the length of the ship, and the missiles aren't going anywhere. And I like the idea of having a giant missile array in there. So, I'm keeping the missiles. I don't have to do anything about that. I just need to slave another set of missiles, and that's easy to do. So, yeah, very nice. And, oh, wow, okay. Do you have rear-facing AMCs?
I was just about to bring that up. I think they're... where did I got this thing? Double check this. Yeah, I got about...
You got a good number. Looks like you got 12 arrays facing backwards.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's about 18. The backwards one is 18,000 DPS facing backwards. And the idea is like if you have to run, why not shoot backwards?
You know what would be even better? New weapons come out. Use the mines as countermeasures. So as
I'm incorporating mine layer devices into my ships that would look aesthetically like a mine layer, which might be right below the engines.
Yeah, I think I see it. Yeah, that'll look really cool.
That or the little thing between.
Yeah, or you could even go below that where you have that gap right below the square. Use that whole area as a mine layer and just dropping mines out the back and people running into them and going boom, and that'd be rather satisfying.
I have another ship where I built a little drop-down section right off the back, and I even put interior that made these little like Cambot-sized blocks that they look like Cambots, but they're about Cambot shaped, and they're supposed to be the mines, and it looks like they're on a little rail just sliding right off the back.
Nice. Very
with like red glow and
yeah. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna move on for the moment, but this thing's awesome, and once you get, a little bit more of the shell done and all, bring it back for the love of God.
Will do.
Alright, so what's this one called?
Unofficially, probably gonna be the White Amaranth.
Alright, and that's by GeekNinja, and so, thanks everybody for watching, and as always, we will see you again next time.